Yo, what's up summoners? My name is Nathan Ng and I'll be your host for this video. In this series, we cover the newest, trendiest builds from Korea and compile them so you can stay up to date with any potential shifts in the meta. Whether you're innovative, curious, or just want something fun to try, look no further because we've got builds for all 5 roles in this video. Hit that sub button and let's get this video started. We'll start off this video with 2 top lane builds, the first one being for Jarvan. One of the debatable kings of the jungle right now, Jarvan is absolutely killing it ever since that he received some nice damage buffs. As you'd expect, players love taking OP junglers into solo lanes and Jarvan is no exception. While his performance in the top lane has been lackluster this season, a new bruiser build has proven itself as a viable entry point for the exemplar of Demacia. First, you'll be running Ignite and Teleport with this build. Your EQ combo is enough mobility to survive most ganks, and you can even use your ultimate beforehand to trap enemies so they can't pursue you. The extra damage and healing reduction helps in plenty of matchups. For runes, use Grasp of the Undying, Shield Bash, Bone Plating, Revitalize, Presence of Mind, Legend Tenacity, Double Adaptive Force, and a situational defensive rune. For the items, build Divine Sunderer, Defensive Boots, Syrinx Cage, Titanic Hydra, Guardian Angel, Gargoyle, Stoneplate. This build provides plenty of defensive stats, and the combination of Titanic Hydra, Divine Sunderer, and Jarvan's abilities provides enough damage to take out the squishy backliners during fights. A lot of the champions in this video might be ones that you're uncomfortable playing. If you want some help, check out our website ProGuides.com, where we have a ton of excellent coaches. Our high elo staff has helped more than 100 players climb from silver to gold in the last month, and they'll assist you with identifying whatever you need to change in order to make that happen. Now, let's get back into the video. Next is a build for an actual top laner, Fiora. She's currently one of the strongest picks, but that doesn't stop the need for new builds. For the sake of science, players are always trying out new things, and here's a build that's likely to stick around. In the case of this build, you'll be running Ignite, but compensate for the lack of flash by building Stridebreaker. Dag to Slow helps while chasing and can also be used to escape during tough situations. Fiora's low Q cooldown also leaves her mobile enough to make it out of most dilemmas regardless. For the runes, run Grasp of the Undying, Demolish, Bone Plating, Revitalize, Presence of Mind, Legend Alacrity, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and your choice of a defensive rune. In terms of items, build Stridebreaker, Defensive Boots, Essence Reaver, Ravenous Hydra, Hullbreaker, and Death's Dance. Hullbreaker is an excellent split pushing item, don't undervalue it as Fiora's strength is not from teamfighting. This build provides plenty of durability as well as sustain, making Fiora one of the strongest late game 1v1 fighters. And that's it for the top lane. Take a look at the screen for a quick recap of those builds. Save them, write them down, and let's move on to the jungle next. So, after numerous buffs, Talon jungle is finding plenty of success. Players are in a rush to figure out what the best build is, and the truth is it doesn't differ too much from his mid lane build. In some cases, it doesn't differ at all, as players typically focus on the tankier bruiser items over big hitting damage items like Sorrel does. You can't play an assassin without Ignite, right? Obviously you can, but jungle Talon thrives on early kills and extra damage can help you secure those kills early and get the snowball. For runes, run Conqueror, Triumph, Legend Tenacity, Coup de Grace, Magical Footwear, Cosmic Insight, Double Adaptive Force, and Armor. Following up, make sure you build Gore Drinker, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Yumi's Ghostblade, Black Cleaver, Edge of Night, and Syrinx Cage. Just like Talon, Kiana has been receiving a ton of jungle buffs to help her become a notable flex pick. Okay, so I lied, you sometimes have to play an assassin without Ignite. Unlike him, Kiana still needs to run Flash for a variety of interactions with her abilities. Things haven't been going too well in the previous patches, but she was buffed once again in this cycle. The runes and items should go quickly since she builds identically to her mid lane counterpart. For runes, run Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Zombie Ward, Ultimate Hunter, Magical Footwear, Cosmic Insight, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and Armor. Attack speed has a lot more value than before following a recent balance adjustment. Her base attack speed was increased, making the stat rune much more valuable than before. For items, build Yumi's Ghostblade, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Prowler's Claw, Sorrelda's Grudge, Edge of Night, and Guardian Angel. That's it for the jungle, 2 quick assassin builds, but they're definitely worth trying out after all the buffs that they received. We put the builds back up on the screen, so check them out. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about the mid lane. This one is probably gonna sound weird, but Vi mid is seeing some more play. Junglers in solo lanes is a season 11 trend that will never die. This build takes advantage of the buffs to the Predator Keystone. Vi mid takes advantage of how squishy most mid laners are with her burst damage, as well as the fact that she can use her ultimate to set up easy ganks for her jungler. In addition to this, she has the potential to effectively roam with the combination of her ultimate and the Predator rune. For runes, run Predator, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, Ultimate Hunter, Legend Alacrity, Coup de Grace, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and your choice of a defensive rune. The rune I want to highlight is Sudden Impact. It's quite important and gives you a significant boost in damage with the free lethality that you get for practically any fight that you take. While this is slightly off topic, let me also ask you our question of the day before moving forward. What champion do you get the most afraid of when you see them locked in on the enemy team? Whenever I see Kassadin, I get pretty worried that they might be smurfing. That champion is absolutely insane in the hands of a better player, and I can't count the number of times I've lost to what is most likely a smurf. Hit me with your answers in the comments down below, and let's finish up the video. Next up is Kogmaw mid. After another recent buff, Kogmaw mid is in a better place than before. Players have been giving him a try, and we've got a build for you guys to experiment with him as well. Make sure you run Summoner Teleport as it'll make it a lot easier to lane. Your goal early on is to survive and farm up. By running Teleport, you won't have to worry as much by taking bad trades, and you can also secure more farm quickly, returning to lane after recalling. For runes, use Arcane Comet, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, Scorch, Presence of Mind, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and your choice of a situational rune. For your items, build Luden's Tempest, Sorcerer's Shoes, Archangel Staff, Horizon Focus, Rally's Crystal Scepter, and for your last item, either choose a Void Staff, Rabadon's Death Cap, or Zhonya's Hourglass. Void Staff is a choice when the enemies are stacking magic resistance, Death Cap if not, and Zhonya's when you need that extra survivability. This build hurts for real. Luden's Tempest, Archangel Staff, and Horizon Focus provide an explosive amount of poke damage, and letting a single R can go ahead and instantly zone out squishy carries for the entire team fight. We'll put those mid lane builds up for you guys one more time. Take a look at the screen for a recap of what you need to do. Next up, let's go ahead and run to the bottom lane. Following her buff to her ultimate, Seraphine is once again popping off in the bottom lane. Her unique mix of utility and damage makes her a great bot lane carry, especially when your mid laner is playing an AD champion. Quite common these days when the meta is defined by picks like Zed, Yone, and Yasuo. For your runes, you'll be running Summon Airy, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, Scorch, Taste of Blood, Ultimate Hunter, Double Adaptive Force, and your choice of a defensive rune. For items, build Liandry's Anguish, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Archangel Staff, Zhonya's Hourglass, Rabadon's Death Cap, and Cosmic Drive. On to supports, we have a new build for Yumi. Unfortunately, she's been gaining a ton of popularity as the support meta has shifted towards enchanters. Swapping out her mythic item for Everfrost certainly creates an entirely new dynamic. Just a quick note, you can cast Everfrost while you're attached to an ally. The CC combo can be absolutely devastating. If you just pair your ultimate or even your Q with it, it can really put your enemies in a bind. For runes, you'll run Summon Airy, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence, Scorch, Presence of Mind, Cut Down, Ability Haste, Adaptive Force, and your choice of a defensive rune. The items are as follows: Spell Thief's Edge Start, Everfrost, Ardent Censer, Staff of Flowing Water, Chemtic Putrefier, and Cosmic Drive. Cosmic Drive is a solid final purchase as it provides AP, a ridiculous amount of ability haste, which is what you're really trying to buy this for, and even some movement speed. It doesn't ever really make sense to build boots on Yumi, but now you have a slot efficient way to float a little bit faster than before. We put those builds up on the screen one more time for you, so make sure you check them out. Finally, we have a rather unique combo to talk about for the jungle and support roles. The combo I'm going to mention is Sejuani jungle and Leona support. For the rare support jungle duo, this might be for you. Or maybe you're just duoing with a buddy and you both get autofilled, please check this out. What makes this combo so strong is the oppressive amount of crowd control that they bring. The CC chain that they bring is also absolutely disgusting. The repeated stuns are demoralizing to get caught in, and the enemies are forced to spend a lot of money on QSS, tenacity, or even both. It's no surprise that as a result, this combo is considered one of the best in Korea. Moving on to the builds, we'll be starting off with Sejuani's first. For runes, you'll use Aftershock, Font of Life, Conditioning, Overgrowth, Triumph, Legend Alacrity, Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, and Armor. Her items are Sunfire Aegis, Defensive Boots, Thornmail, Warmog's Armor, Zhonya's Hourglass, and Abyssal Mask. Abyssal Mask is an amazing final item on Sejuani, as hitting enemies with CC is her primary focus in teamfights. Exposing them to extra damage significantly increases a backliner's potential to carry fights, so don't hesitate to build one later on into the game, or even earlier if you're planning on snowballing. Leona's build is pretty much what you'd expect. The runes are Aftershock, Font of Life, Bone Plating, Unflinching, Biscuit Delivery, Cosmic Insight, Ability Haste, Armor, and a situational defensive rune. For her items, build Locket of the Iron Solari, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Zig's Convergence, Thornmail, and a Gargoyle Stoneplate. To wrap things up, we'll put that combos build up on the screen one last time for you guys. With that said, we've concluded our Korean builds for patch 11.19. Hope you guys all enjoy the video, and make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, I want to remind you guys that if you aren't already part of the Discord community, you're missing out. Check out the description for a link to join it, as I'd really love to see you guys there. Try these builds out, and I'm especially a big fan of that combo. It's really super strong. If you guys want to see me try them out, I stream on Wednesdays, so go ahead and check it out on 6 to 8 p.m. PST. I'll be trying out these builds myself. Until next time, best of luck on Summoner's Rift, and as usual, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.